Live from Arkansas' streaming news leader, this is THV 11 Morning News at 7 on THV 11 Plus.
Good morning and thanks for joining us here on THV 11 Plus. I'm Hayden Balgavy. Karen is off today.
And I'm meteorologist Tracy Bean.
Good morning. I'm Ashley King. Hope you're having a great start to the day.
Hey, good morning. Happy Tuesday. It's always, Tuesday morning? I always think of the store every time I say good morning or on Tuesday. It's like, hey, it's Tuesday morning. Happy Tuesday morning.
Did you spend a lot of time in there?
I did not. My mother and wife absolutely did all the time.
Oh, yeah.
So, but it's gone now. Bummer.
I know.
I liked it too.
It's a good store. Yeah,
it was a lot of fun. Good store. I'd pop in every now and then, but every Tuesday morning, I just, I sidebar sometimes because I think of that. But I know we're getting things going. I know you probably wish it was still 4th of July week. You got a break, you got vacay, but still a lot of kids out for summer, teachers out for summer, but yeah, traffic's back.
Yeah.
Traffic's back.
It is.
I think most people took their vacation last week. I was thinking maybe yesterday it would still be light. People taking off, maybe extending that long vacation, but no. Yeah, you did that, right, but you must have been the only one.
Traffic was not a problem for Hayden.
Right, not at all.
Problemo yesterday morning.
We're looking at I-30 eastbound right now. This is in Bryant. Beautiful sunrise this morning. We're starting to see some of those clouds that Tracy was talking about earlier on THV 11. Now you're watching on streaming. And we're going to keep you up to date here too with what's going on, but traffic moving along pretty nicely right here. I-30 eastbound, looking at the map, same for really the entire metro. We're not seeing any accidents right now, so things look really great. It is 7:02, so this is just starting the busy hour where traffic starts to really increase into the metro. But looking at our drive times into downtown Little Rock, this is typical for this time of day, and it really hasn't changed since we checked last time. If you're coming from Conway, the Dave Ward exit, a 22-minute drive into downtown Little Rock. Cabot, Highway 5, 20 minutes, and 18 minutes from Benton, the Alcoa exit. So, yeah, we'll keep checking back and let you know what's going on again here in just a minute. Right now, we're going to get an update on the weather.
Thank you so much, Ashley. It's 7:03. We're starting out the morning again with a few clouds. We are going to see a little sunshine today, but not a ton. It's mainly going to be one of those days where you need to keep that umbrella handy. We are starting off at 75 this morning. That humidity is around 90%, so it is very, very humid out there, and that will continue as we're heading into the rest of the day as well. But we're not the only ones suffering here. We do have Stuttgart, Pine Bluff, Searcy, anywhere you see this purple, Arkadelphia, Texarkana, we are all feeling it. So again, it's humid across the state as a whole, but certainly if you are in these areas that are kind of deemed a little purple area, you are certainly feeling all of that today. Looking at our daily planner again, a little sunshine here and there, but we're going to start to see some of those rain showers and thunderstorms really start to pop in and build as we're heading into the afternoon. Now it's really going to play around a little bit with our highs for the afternoon, so we'll have to kind of see exactly when those storms are coming through and what that will do for their high temperatures. But again, we'll talk more about these storms and what you can expect coming up in my forecast.
Tracy, thank you. We start with new developments out of Texas. Crews still searching for survivors after last week's devastating flash flooding. Officials now confirming more than 100 people have died. Nearly 30 of them were children and counselors at a sleepaway camp in Kerr County. At the same time, pressure is growing on local leaders, many asking if more could have been done to warn people before the waters rushed in. Naomi Ruckham with CBS News has the very latest.
Vigils in cities around Texas Monday honor the more than 100 people killed in the tragic July 4th weekend flash floods. The frantic search is intensifying as hundreds of rescue workers, some volunteers, sift through debris in hopes of finding those still missing.
It's complicated by the broad, the mass of people that we're looking for. This is going to take a while.
10 children and 1 counselor from Camp Mystic in hard-hit Kerr County are still unaccounted for. Officials confirm that at least 27 campers and counselors died in the floods. This video shows survivors from the all-girls camp singing hymns after they were rescued. For parents of the children evacuated from Camp Waldemar, located 20 minutes away in Hunt, a long-awaited reunion.
I had to wait a minute for them to hug their mom first. I'm kind of chopped liver, but ultimately when I did get the hugs, they were really sweet.
The historic flooding has led to criticism over early warning systems. Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick tells CBS News that state lawmakers could consider funding new sirens in the coming weeks.
Maybe that would have sparked people to say, oh, we have a massive disaster like 5 minutes away.
Meanwhile, donations are now pouring in.
It's about picking each other up
as communities come together to mourn and rebuild. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News.
President Trump plans to visit Texas on Friday following growing criticism over federal cuts to the National Weather Service. As search teams keep looking for the missing residents, questions remain about how and when warnings exactly went out. At Kerr County, officials issued the first flash flood alert at 1 a.m., but evacuation notices didn't follow until 4 a.m. when many people were still sleeping. By 7 a.m., river levels peaked at 36 feet. FEMA insists it had enough staff in place.
We had an all-hands-on-deck situation where we had a full complement, full staff of meteorologists working in those shifts. Now, what was going on with those forecasters is that they were working on overdrive. They were doing their maximum effort to keep people safe, to inform people.
Many locals say they never got warnings or weren't told to evacuate. Others say they tuned them out due to overuse. As we mentioned a moment ago, 27 people at Camp Mystic lost their lives in the flooding. Unfortunately, that tragedy hits home for some Arkansans. THV 11's Tamer Knight has a look back at how some faced similar devastation in 2010.
Well, good morning, Hayden. Normally a summer escape for thousands, Camp Mystic turned into a site of horror and heartbreak over the weekend. It's a grim reminder of past tragedies, including the 2010 flood at Albert Pike Campground in Arkansas that claimed 20 lives. Just like that storm, many say the scale of the flash flooding in Texas was nearly impossible to prepare for.
Never underestimate Mother Nature. You just don't know when you're going to get one of those storms that's capable of producing 7 inches of rain in a short amount of time.
Jay Townsend with the Army Corps of Engineers say new safety protocols like water tracking apps are now in place to help with future disasters in Arkansas. Volunteers like Sheepdog Impact is now standing by to help in Texas Hill Country, ready to help as soon as conditions allow. Officials say the biggest need will be manpower, so we expect to see them mobilized soon. THV 11 News, I'm Tamer Knight.
All right, Tamer, thank you for that update. Another update as well this morning. The man caught in Arkansas after a multi-state manhunt is back in an Oklahoma courtroom. Stacey Lee Drake arrested near Morrilton last June, facing 3 murder charges tied to a 2023 crime spree. Includes the killings of Tara Underwood and Taylor Sharp at a propane business in Gans, Oklahoma, and Philip Emerson hours later up the highway. Drake pleading not guilty, but prosecutors, however, are seeking the death penalty. His trial is set to begin September 8th. Well, speeding might seem like a time saver, but it often turns deadly. Starting Wednesday, Arkansas police will increase patrols for the Speeding Slows You Down campaign. Nationwide speeding factored into nearly 12,000 deaths last year. Here in Arkansas, it contributed to 1 in 5 traffic fatalities. Both state troopers and local officers will take part in the crackdown. Arkansas educators say they are feeling uneasy after Congress passed the Big Beautiful Bill last week. Superintendents across the state met with Education Secretary Jacob Oliva, pressing for answers about how looming budget changes will impact their schools. Eureka Springs Superintendent Brian Pruitt worries cuts to federal funding could hurt programs like ESL, which rely on interpreters to help students learn English. He says many schools have been caught off guard by budget cuts in recent months.
The big kicker that happened is back in March, the feds come out and said, we're going to quit funding some of these programs. And people had already budgeted those funds.
When it comes to Title I funding for low-income students, many school leaders say they are still waiting for direction. Pruitt says he expects more clarity in the coming weeks. A Fayetteville-based nonprofit that helps struggling Arkansas towns rebuild water systems may lose key federal funding. Communities Unlimited is a community-based financial institution, or CDFI. It helped Helena West Helena during its 2023 water crisis. It's one of several lenders at risk if Congress cuts a program the White House now labels, quote, woke. The group says without federal support, small rural towns could lose access to long-term loans needed for major water and sewer repairs. Supporters argue the program fills a gap that banks won't, offering small loans in places most lenders avoid. All right, let's send it back over to Ashley with a check of the roads this morning.
Hey there, Hayden. Yeah, it's easy drive in right now. It is 7:11 and we're not really seeing any delays right now. We're looking at the North Terminal interchange. As you can see, there is some traffic. It is starting to increase in volume, but it is moving right along this morning. We're looking westbound on I-30 heading into downtown Little Rock. About to cross the Arkansas River Bridge here. We see a lot of cars weaving in and out of traffic there, but things are looking pretty nice right now. And as we look at the map too, across the metro, we're not really seeing any delays or slowdowns just yet. It is a little bit early for that, but in the next 10 to 15 minutes, we should see some of those usual areas that get the most volume start to increase. But the drive times into downtown Little Rock, this time looking at Jacksonville, the Hardin Drive exit, 19 minutes into downtown Little Rock. If you're coming from Chenal, the Rawling Road area around the Promenade, 15-minute drive, which is pretty typical for this time of day. Lone Oak into downtown Little Rock, 25 minutes. So looking pretty good right now, Tracy.
Well, we are starting out this morning watching the radar. This morning we did have a few of those storms that were passing through northern Arkansas, and they started to dissipate and move out. Still seeing a lot of that as well, but we're starting to watch these storms that are pushing in around the Fort Smith area. Now, some of these, as they are coming in, could give a locally heavy rain from 2 to 3 inches, and we could see even up to 5 in a few of those areas. Now, keep in mind we're keeping a watch here in central Arkansas as well. Not a lot of activity this morning, but we will start to see our fair share of rain as we're heading into the afternoon. 75 to kick off your morning. It is a bit muggy out there, but we're going to continue to see those rain shower chances really increase as we're heading into the afternoon. That's going to keep our afternoon high a little bit lower than expected, and some of these could be strong to severe at times, mainly with those gusty winds. We could see some quarter-size hail as well, but also, again, watching for that flooding risk. It is in that slight category from the Storm Prediction Center, so we're going to have to keep an eye on that. Again, 2 to 3 inches possible locally. So watch out for a few of those rain showers if they head your way. Some of them could be some big downpours.